Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Pumpkinhead. No, it's Rocco from the Dead Air Dudes. We are going to do a happy recap of New York Comic Con, which has made its return finally back to New York.
Quasi-triumphantly at the Jacob Javits. This past weekend, we just went the whole weekend. I was there all 4 days. Rocco was there at least 2 days. And we had an interesting but good time. Now, we'll take it from the top, give us our, the pros and the cons, and we'll go from there. Now, big pro was the fact that there was a lot less people, meaning there was a lot more room for us to walk around, a lot more room for the vendors, a lot more room for the cosplayers to do their thing, a lot more elbow room. Just there was no crazy people everywhere, and that you couldn't move.
So literally Thursday was 60 feet apart.
Yes.
Which, from a vendor's point of view, and for anybody out there, there was no line to get beer. No line.
No line to get beer.
I found that amazing. No line to the bathrooms.
It's even for the women's bathroom. There
no lines to the women's bathroom.
Thursday, Friday, there were no lines. Saturday and Sunday, then you got a little more packed, but even then, it was manageable. And they allowed everyone to use the men's bathroom as well, which is
right.
Which is all interesting. And
it pretty much became a universal bathroom.
Pretty much, yes. So,
which I get it. You gotta go. There were some notable absentees.
Yes, namely Marvel, which have their main offices here in New York City. You have DC, which normally they just send some people, but nothing crazy since they moved to the West Coast. You have other comic book companies like Image and Skybound, which were not there. Dark Horse was not there. Archie was not there.
Some of the big publishing houses were not there.
Boom was not there. Dynamite was not there. And the ones that were there, like Source Point Press and Aftershock and Scout, Xenoscope, among others. If I forgot anyone, I apologize. And
was it Mecha, Merc?
Yes, and all the smaller publishers, which
benefited.
Yes, they did. And we spoke to enough people that said it was not to the level as other years or as 2019, but it was still positive, and a lot of vendors did well in comparison to, heck, they didn't do anything last year as far as, so something's better than nothing.
So the gamers were there in full force. All the gaming,
the gaming issues were there, but also there was some notable absences from there as well. Where was Capcom? Where was Nintendo? Where was Sega? Where was Sony? Where was Chevy? Where was Geico? You have, so many big. Where was Funko?
Funko Pops, big absentees. Now, the smaller merchants and maybe the mid-sized merchants, Midtown Comics, the mid-sized merchants really made out like bandits because they filled the void that Funko Pops had left. There were dead areas, and dead areas, I mean, huge empty spaces that looked like it cost about $20,000 a day. Huge spaces where you had mentioned these mainstays were not there, and no one filled their spot because I guess it was just way too much and too late. But it did afford for space to sit down, meander, take a breath, stand, take pictures.
Actual seating they had dedicated areas where almost like a mini food court type area where you could sit down, rest your dogs and, have a drink or two. So
let's talk about one of the eye catchers, which I thought was the best eye catcher of the whole event, the Demon Slayer setup.
Yes, which I forgot to mention to you yesterday. was that on Sunday, it actually had a line to get in.
Oh. And if for those that missed it, anyone that missed it, please check our Deader Dudes IG page, soon to be on our YouTube channel and on Twitter. I'm sorry, on TikTok and Twitter, where we're going to post pictures, especially of the demons, dedicated little mini episode for Demon Slayer, where each individual Demon Slayer and bad guy and boss had its own little setup, its own little dressed up thing. I mean, it was phenomenal, very tastefully done. It looked like a lot of work and thought went into it. It was, to me, the best draw of the whole event. Let's turn attention now to Artist Alley.
Artist Alley wasn't as packed as it usually is. There was a couple areas that were, I guess, roped off or whatever. And this is no knock towards the great artists that were there, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there were lots of artists, big name artists, especially international artists, who obviously could not be there unless they lived in the US. You had several artists from Canada who could not make it. You had artists from Europe who could not make it, and from Asia who could not make it. And you felt it, you felt it. So you had a lot of great artists there, that had got the opportunity to be on the main stage, to be in the main Artist Alley, where normally they would probably have their own table somewhere else, or have, be up there in the indie section, which was cool for them. And I hope that they really, did well, because one thing I know from ReedPop is no knock to them. Well, it kind of a knock to them. The fact that they gave nobody any freaking discounts from
well, yes. This was a con that, and con, I mean, this is something, a red mark against the Comic-Con. You're trying to come back. This is an all-inclusive endeavor, meaning it's fans, it's New York State, it's New York City, it's Jacob Javits, it's vendors, merch, small-time, big-time artists, independent publishers, what have you. This is a collaboration of everybody. If you want to get back to the way things were, you want to get back to normal, you want to get back to what we all love. I mean, to me, this is my Christmas of the year. This is my event.
This is,
so to make this happen,
series, everything.
You got to make some concessions. You and I and other people we've met, and almost everybody who attended, have voiced how a little more difficult it was this year to obtain passes.
Yeah, it was for what it was. It was extremely difficult. I mean, you jump through so many hoops, and then once you were there, I get the whole COVID thing. I understand. Masked, everyone has to be vaccinated, but then they made you get this wristband. They had to wear all 4 days. If you were there, you couldn't take it off, because if you did, you had to go through the process again. I get it. But if you are drinking and eating, you can take off the mask. But let's not get into politics. Let's not get into what anyone believes in and doesn't believe in.
But going back to the initial discussion here, there could have been a little break in pricing. Yes. So that we can make this work from all sides.
$80
from the vendor side
was way too much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's one knock that we got on them. Nothing you could do about it, but the price of food was, even for Manhattan standards, in my opinion, a little outrageous. We're already paying to get in. Nobody wants freebies, but at the same time, we're there. We need some support to lend a little support. Yet you can't ask for a $20 panini.
Yeah, but see, they're different with Rocka. I understand his point and his idea, but the Jacob Javits and their food has nothing to do with ReedPop, and the food trucks that come in again have nothing to do with ReedPop. So everyone charges what they charge based on what they have to charge, and you're in a state building that, they could, with unions and everything, they're going to charge what they're going to charge. It's always been that way. So
yes.
you know,
Now we did meet a lot of people
accordingly, and you need to, hey, maybe you got to walk outside and get a pretzel from or get a sewer dog from the corner.
Dirty dog.
There you go, a dirty dog.
All right. So one shameless plug. We met a ton of people. I wish we could mention everybody's name, but we did meet a few guys from California who have a comic book line. I think their publishing house is was it Stranger Comics and they have been picked up. They come to be picked up by HBO for a live action series to come, and we're waiting for that. So that was actually a promising, good news, and from some up and coming comic book artist that started a while back as an independent author and independent publishing house, and they've made some inroads, and kudos to them. We're planning to get a discussion with them at some point, maybe in a later podcast interview. And again, we've met so many people with really good stories, which we will eventually share piece by piece, little mini episodes on IG and on YouTube.
Yeah. We plan to interview with the head creator and Sebastian A. Jones, and we're going to hopefully speak to him and the artist, which I apologize, the name doesn't come to me right now. And yeah, we'll bring you everything that we can, because we love up and coming books and artists and all that stuff that we, I'm going to give reviews and, so we'd like to thank everyone that we met. The list is extensive, but you'll see in the upcoming days and weeks, we're going to have all those episodes for you. And, you guys can enjoy and pick up some good
books. Finally, to wrap up Comic-Con, we cannot but mention cosplay. And so with that said, first, let me make my observation. I thought Thursday, and you may agree on Friday, it was a little bit more than 50%, maybe in the 60-65% range of people who wore costumes and went full out cosplay versus those that just went in regular plain clothes, maybe perhaps a t-shirt like this or a t-shirt that says Superman or something. We get into Saturday and Sunday, and it was almost like an 80-20 split.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go, and try to describe every single cosplay there, because there were so many good ones. And even the ones that were, that you've seen before, they each had their own definitive spin, and they were awesome.
There were some homemade costumes. There were some piecemealed costumes. There's some people created. And again, my spin on it is it's the spirit of cosplay. Anyone can go out there and purchase a $200 costume and look exactly close to like set design costume. I get it. It's those that really get into the spirit of it, and that's what cosplay really is, where you get into the character, you get into the nuances, you get into the walk, you get into the poses. When we approach people, hey, can we take your photo?
It's the embodiment of the character.
Yeah, you're raw. Exactly. You're all in, all aboard. That, I think, was probably the highlight of the entire Comic-Con experience this weekend, was that everyone was dying to get back to this, that it was the most positive vibe I've ever felt in Comic-Cons.
Yeah, no, it was definitely positive. Everyone was having a good time. It was all love, man.
And it was all love.
Hopefully,
listen,
what's coming
if
up.
I had to put a ranking, there was number one, there was Loki everywhere. Every variant of Loki. Literally. And number two was Demon Slayer. Everybody was Nezuko and Zenitsu and Inosuke. And then there was a lot of anime. And then you have your usual Batman's, Catwoman, Wonder Woman.
You had a lot of WandaVision. A lot of WandaVision there.
There was a lot of WandaVision. So obviously, the last
of course,
few
you have
months,
your Harley Quinns and,
few Harley Quinns. The last few months fueled this. Whatever was really popular, there was a couple of sprinkled Invincibles, out there. So I'm glad that it happened. It went exceedingly well, in my opinion. There wasn't a big fuss, despite any lines, security measures, mask mandates, what have you, despite who was not there in attendance. Everything we witnessed and we saw and we filmed, there will be a lot of footage out there, guys. And we interviewed a couple of people, really good guys. If you guys are really into aspiring artists, their stories off mainstream comic books, the indie scene, we got that. We got that covered.
Definitely. So, yeah. If you guys like comics and you like cosplay and you like Comic-Con and all that good stuff that we all enjoy, it's all coming to you very, 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 very soon.
All right, there's more to come, fellas. Remember, this is the month of Halloween. Please join us on our YouTube channel where we feature a horror movie review of the day for the 31 days of Halloween. We will have some scary story episode every week until Halloween and thereafter as well, to fuel that appetite that people have to not want to go to bed. And
exactly.
And that's about it. Thank you for liking, subscribing.
Always like, subscribe, leave a comment. We love comments.
We love comments. Any fan interaction. All right. Save the whales. Be vigilant. I'm Raka.
I'm Izzy. Take care, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Save the whale.